Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, welcome to the Commonwealth cabin. This video might have a slightly different flair than some of the other ones, or flavor I should say. I want to talk about one topic with two totally different meanings, and that's eBay sellers should not ignore this. So one of them is just a simple thing that I've been recognizing when I've been doing all this shipping lately, and it's something I've heard some people talking about. And the other one has nothing to do with actual reselling or shipping. It has to do with my mind. It has to do with a lot of resellers out there who might be experiencing the same things that I have been lately. I want to talk about those things, and we have another, thank goodness, another incredible day of sales, and it's been quite a roll for the last 7 days. And I think I'm going to try my best. It may be a little disjointed to kind of weave this one through this episode as I sell some things or pick some things that sold. All right, I grabbed this one out of here. What is that, the Maryland bin? And I'm happy because that bin's been overflowing. I think we sold two things out of here today. And this is an old quilt. And I had some folks tell me it was a log cabin quilt, hand tacked. I don't know. I don't know quilts very well, but I know I've been not picking them up for years. And I probably should have been. And I decided I'd pick a few up and see what happens. This happened to be a good one. I think I paid $5 for it at a church sale, and it sold for $72 plus shipping. Let me give a little bit of context as I get through this. So first thing, and I mentioned this on the last episode, which was yesterday. Normally we ship 3 days a week. That's it. We film 3 days a week. We ship 3 days a week. And I've always said it's part-time. And the last week we needed to do 4. There was so much headed out of here, and I started to talk about numbers a little bit, which is something I almost never do. I talk about specific numbers for specific items, but I don't talk about overall numbers. And I got some feedback from some folks that, you know, that I didn't really like that much. I'll be honest, I've said this before, I'm overly sensitive to the way people view me. And that's one of my weaknesses, and I think it is. It always has been pretty open about it. And so I try to steer clear of talking about numbers for 2 reasons. One is because you get criticism like you're not telling the truth, or the other one, and this is important too, and this is what I'm going to mention when I mention these numbers, is when you put these numbers out there, there are people in all kinds of different situations in their life, in their abilities, their physical abilities, and they judge themselves against all these people on social media who throw out these crazy numbers and do whatever. And I just don't want to be that person, because this game, if you want to call it a game, it's a lifestyle to me. It really means different things to different people. And nobody out there has to judge themselves against somebody's 90-day total. And I've been talking about lately that we've had some crazy good days lately for us, for being part-time resellers, essentially, because we don't put in, you know, massive hours reselling. And I want to talk about those really quick and talk about how it's benefited me because of some other things that I've been trying to deal with and process. And this is certainly not me complaining. I'm incredibly blessed here. So this is the streak we're on lately. And this came right after we came back from a trip. We've been gone a lot doing these. They're not vacations. We've been at different events and doing different things, and I've had a good time. But I think next year, because of what I'm talking about right here, I think we're going to cut that way back. We might do, you know, trash to cash events or something like that and hang out with friends, and we might do one event like we've done in the past. And I'd much rather do what I want to do with this trailer, and that's get out to yard sales and pick. I enjoy it. It's my solace. I want to meet some of y'all. It's my solace sitting underneath that tree and listing, and reselling has always been a great joy for me. What stresses me out sometimes is the social media, and it's been a little bit of a combo lately of both. So I've rambled on, but long story short here, we've had a pretty good streak here. $371.94. This is daily totals, $494, $468, followed by another $468, followed by a $443, by a $459, by a $302, and last night's, or yesterday's, $789. So I say all that just to say that we've had enough to put out more videos. I don't like to do videos with 25 sales on there. we've had enough. We filmed 4 last week. I've got enough to do 2 days in a row. And because my kids are so busy, and I've decided I'm going to take Turner, which is something I normally wouldn't do this time of year. I would stay home because it's Q4 and it's the time to earn money. I decided I was going to take a week off. And so by the time you see this video, I'll probably be back and the store will be back and running here. I'm almost certain it will. And I decided to take an extra day on top of it. Turner has a baseball tournament a couple states down. And I just thought, with everything that's going on with our family, with nothing bad's going on. Don't worry. That's what I mean. Just there's so much going on with Reagan's gymnastics and Turner's last tournament of the year and all the stuff, the holidays coming up. And I just decided I needed a little time for myself away from social media. And well, I'll never get away totally from social media or from reselling, but I needed to take a step back, take a little bit of a break. And I've done that over the last week. I haven't done it yet in person. This video will be filmed almost a week before you see it. And that's not something we normally do. Normally like to get it out in a day or two. But we've had enough content to do this, and I've decided to tack a couple days onto my trip, going down there with Turner, and take a little break for myself with him. And I'm excited about it. Going to see some family as well. And sometimes you just need to do that. And I feel like that time is right now for me, because I don't want to miss the bulk of Q4 selling. I love reselling, but I need to take a break. And I was in here last night with my wife. I normally love shipping with her, and I love all that stuff. And we were looking at this, and sales were coming in, and I'm like, I'm shutting the store down. I'm just going to shut it down. And that's what we did. And it was just simply because I wasn't enjoying last night. And that is very rare for me. And I don't ever want to be there. I just figured it's time to take just a little bit of a break for myself. And that's what I'm doing. And I know that that's hard for some folks out there, because you depend on that income coming in, and you just got to keep your pedal to the metal and keep rolling. And I usually preach that. And it's no problem for me to preach that, because I love this so much. But I needed one mentally for myself. And to be honest with you, it's probably more to do with social media than it is anything else. And I've filmed enough videos, we've had enough sales. It's just been this perfect storm that's allowed me to do this. So I'm excited to be able to do it. And I'm excited to take that break and come back with a good attitude and get rolling on my goals for the end of this year, headed into next year. And I'm just curious, how many of y'all ever feel that? Even those of you out there that absolutely love reselling, do you ever get to the point where you're like, I need to take a day, or I need to take 2 days? So I've got Leroy back here. Leroy's a good friend of mine. And, he'll send me messages every once in a while and just say, hey, this is Blood, Sweat, and Sell. He's on RIN. He'll say, how you doing? Just out of the blue, how you doing? And I've got a few friends like that. And sometimes it's usually, hey, I'm doing great. This is wonderful. And, sometimes it's, you know what? I'm not doing too great right now. Well, let me just step back from this for a second or two, and then we'll keep rolling. So how does that tie into reselling with social media with me anyways? And this is why I made this decision. So I decided I'd shut the store down 2 days before I had to. I'd keep it shut down 2 days longer than I needed to. And I'll explain that in a minute. This Green Bay Pro Player jacket, USA, made in the USA, sold for $72. So I will take that for sure. So for me, and your experience may be completely different dealing with this kind of stuff, but for me, being in social media, sometimes what I do, because I care way too much about what other people think, is you try to keep up with the Joneses. You try to, hey, look, I'm selling this much, and this is, look at me and all that stuff. And that's never been me. But I just kind of asked myself that last night. I'm like, why am I pushing so hard for this? Because I've got to, show good numbers. I'm like, this is ridiculous. There's a lot of people struggling out there to make sales. There's a lot of people struggling in other parts of their lives, and they can't keep up with everybody else. And I'm like, this is insane. I'm just going to step back and take a break. I'm not going to care what other people think of my 90-day total, which I never share anyways. And I'm just going to do things the way I've always done them, the way I want to do them. And I want to, in case any of my videos over the last few weeks have made anybody feel like that, to say it's okay to be you. It's okay to sell the way you want to sell. It's okay to sell what you want to sell. it's okay to make $10,000 a year or $2,000 a year or $120,000 a year. Everybody's different, and everybody should do it in a way that best fits their personality and their lifestyle. You may have seen me pick this up on a picker video last week, and I paid like $27 for like 4 inflatables, and this was the big winner, but that was an incredible deal. This, matter of fact, just to be perfectly honest with you, it was comments about this that got me a little bit bent out of shape as well, you know, and stuff when you read on social media, you know, you're ripping off old people. And I mean, I pay the asking price for stuff, and you know, I'm not ashamed of what I do. I love what I do, but it was a culmination of a whole bunch of things that kind of led me to this. I'm glad I've done it, but this one was awesome, and we blew it up. And Bubba used to do this for me outside, but this time he didn't do it for me. He's been super busy. He's been working almost 50-hour weeks at his new job anyway. So this one right here, because we blew it up, because we checked everything, we assured the buyer, this is actually a fairly rare one. I could only find one comp for it on eBay. I put it out there for $129.99, sold like that, which is a really nice profit. And these are actually pretty darn easy to ship. Just grab a box that'll fit it, throw it in there, a little paper around it, and it goes out pretty darn fast. You know, I decided a long time ago that I did not want to be that social media person that was bragging, that was telling people this is the way to do it, and if you don't do it this way. And I felt like even in the last few weeks I have not done that. However, a lot of people's reactions to what I've said, which I fully believe, like going back to the video where I said, hey, it is entirely possible to make $50,000 net profit in 20 hours a week. And I still believe, I know that is a fact. 150% know that's a fact. But at the same time, there's a lot of people out there who struggle reselling, and there's a lot of folks out there that that's not a possibility for them, and I think a lot of them took it the wrong way. And I just, like, you know, I'm not going to be afraid to say what I think and talk about numbers and whatever, but this is about fun. This is about a lifestyle for me. And so in a strange way, taking a week off and just saying, you know, forget the numbers, forget all this stuff, I just need a week off, a break from this, I think is a good way for me to reset and to think about things in a little bit of a different way. And I hope for those of you out there who are struggling right now, struggling financially, struggling to make sales, struggling on eBay, struggling sourcing, you know, dealing with, you know, whatever, your micro economy just isn't working out for you, you know, take a breath and allow yourself a little bit of grace. And I hope there's people out there that allow me grace when I say things that they don't like or they don't think are true. It's just my experience, and I'm never trying to mislead folks out there at all. And I hope I don't. And I think one thing I used to do better, but I don't do very often, is to show the reality of reselling. And, you know, when we do videos like this, and we say, hey, we sold that for $130 plus shipping, $72, $79, or whatever that sold for. This sold for $125 plus shipping. And people out there only see this part of it. They don't see all the work. They don't see all the, well, they see the sourcing with me. I used to show the shipping and how long that takes and whatever, which was another topic. You know, we don't take, and it's hard for some folks. You know, we spend about 3 hours a week shipping. That's it. I don't know, you know, all the people talk about how long it takes or whatever. I'm just sharing my experience with it. Now, some things, and lately we've been selling a lot larger things, that number might go up to 4 hours. But for us, because of our setup and because of the way we do things, it just doesn't take that long. Now, this one might take a little bit of time. By the way, this thing is awesome. I paid $3 for it at a sale. And it says Ortiz here. It is signed. It's a velvet boxer. And this is going somewhere in Philadelphia. And on 10th Street. Lenny's Leatherworks or something like that. I'll give them a little shout out. So that's going to show up for them somewhere in their shop as my assumption. But that thing's pretty awesome. And I got this right down the road. Right down the road. Made in Mexico. And I normally don't find anything right around my house. But I just waited. And that thing sold $125 plus shipping. I'll grab the next item, which I absolutely love. But I'll probably go to the dump. See, and I won't put this on camera, right? It's not like that thing magically gets shipped. I don't have a box for that. So I've got two options. And I usually keep a ton of these large boxes in a shed out there. I'll probably get one. And I'll it'll fit laying flat in the bottom. I'll put paper in the bottom, I'll put paper in the top, and then I'll cut that box way down and make it a flat box. Or I'll go to the dump, which is a mile or two away, and they have a recycle bin there for cardboard, and I'll find like a small TV box. Somebody bought like, you know, I don't know, 50-inch TV or something. And I'll cut it in half and I'll just put it in there. All right, Don Quixote, I will spare you my Man of La Mancha story that I said last week or 2 weeks ago. But that little figurine came with that plate for like $1 or $2. And we sold the plate separate than this little figure. I loved it sitting up here for a while because I just love that book, and Cervantes is brilliant. And that sold for $12. I'll show you. And when I did that video talking about, hey, 20 hours, 50,000 net profit, you know, I got a ton across social media, like, oh, you could only do that because your family does all the work, or because, you know, you sell to viewers and whatever. By the way, and that's just simply not true. My family I love to death, and my wife helps me at this, and she helps me mostly shipping. But that just isn't the case. But regardless of all that, that's me defending myself again. I don't want to feel like I have to defend myself. And yeah, we make viewer sales. But listen, I've been doing this a long time, and I just felt like I was getting to that mode where I was constantly defending myself, trying to work harder, do more, and whatever, to live up to some kind of crazy expectation. And that's part of the problem. And that's a lot of what I see out there. By the way, thank you for everybody who came in who said, yes, of course it's possible. I do that, right? And thank you to the people who say, you know, no, I don't do that, but yes, I can see how it's possible. You know, those comments mean a lot to me. This is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to think about all the time, because this is what I truly love. And that's going out and finding cool stuff at a good price and making money on it. And this towel, I'll have to show it to you up here. Maybe I'll put it over the dog's face. And that towel right there didn't sell for a ton. I paid $1 for it, or maybe $1.50, 2 for $3. And it sold for $14.50 plus shipping. It's a vintage Mickey towel.
Oh, cool. What, the Packers? The dog? No, the Packers jersey. Oh, or not jersey.
Reagan's excited about the Packers jersey
Even
here.
though they're not that
So for all of all of you who say my family helps me and that's why I get everything done, I figured I would just show you. Look at my family, and Bub's girlfriend's taking this stuff to the post office for me. Reagan doesn't want me to sell. She's a Packers fan.
Well, actually, kind of.
She switched.
You're going to go to the post office too?
Are you going?
Are you going?
Yeah.
You are too?
Yeah.
All right. Normally you're lazy bones staying at home. All right, Joe. Normally my dad takes stuff to the post office for me, but they've been gone this week. There's a death on my mom's side of the family, and they went down for the services. So if my family's out there listening down there, hope everything is going okay during that time. And I just like, hey, when you need help, it's sometimes good to ask for it. So Bubba's girlfriend was here. She's here all the time. I'm like, hey, you mind going to the post office for me so I can finish this video? And we can get this stuff shipped out so me and Turner can take off tomorrow. Speaking about shipping, that was the one other thing along those same lines. You know, you shouldn't ignore this if you're a reseller. And sometimes taking a step back is the right thing. Obviously, you can't do it for months on end if you need the income, but sometimes it's a good thing. And in this case, I want to talk about shipping because I think a lot of us are just now realizing the differences in shipping. And there's one thing that I've heard a lot lately, and I've experienced it twice now, but not on an item like this. This is some disc golf, which I don't play disc golf. Sorry, Harry Tornado. But I did pick them up, and they sold $30 plus shipping. Obviously, there are big differences in shipping lately. And if you saw those packages that were here, there was a lot of priority mail in there, but some of them weren't. And the day before shipping, nothing was priority mail, which means the importance of boxes is becoming more and more important, and people are, you know, where to buy them and all that stuff. So I do buy a lot of boxes, obviously, but I have been doing a little bit more of I've been doing a better job of keeping, storing, and organizing my boxes. I remember they talked about this on Cat's show the other day, and this is a setup that eases my mind a little bit, but storing these extra boxes where UPS is becoming a better and better option for me all the time. And all these Ground Advantage boxes, plain boxes, I've had to do a little bit better system out in this little shed I have right here, breaking boxes down and making sure stuff's not overtaking my spaces for reselling. Because if you got stuff everywhere all the time, it stresses you out. So sometimes it's good to take a step back from reselling for a minute or two in order to get yourself in a situation where the stress of reselling and the stuff everywhere doesn't bother you. And that's what I did about a month ago, and I'm so glad I did. And getting dedicated spaces and a system has really helped. And this is absolutely not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is media mail. The last 2 items I've shipped out, media mail, I didn't actually ship out media mail. We ended up shipping them Ground Advantage. I don't even know the point of media mail anymore. Although I will say that some of the media mail are definitely still cheaper media mail. But Ground Advantage, even one UPS package was cheaper than sending it media mail. So let me know if you're seeing that out there. Is media mail a thing of the past? And in reality, if it is, it's because these other shipping options have become affordable again. And, you know, I know people are going to argue about that. And shipping is too expensive and whatever. But let me tell you, I feel like shipping right now, and the fact that they're not bumping it up during the holiday season for the first time in years, is it's awesome. I absolutely love it. There's a couple things that are more tiresome about it. Like in the past, you just pick it. If it's under 16 ounces, it's going to go in a brown box. If it's over, it's more than likely going to go in a priority box, and you have to look at it before you did the shipping. So it adds a little bit of time. You know, where's it going? What's your best option before you package it up, so you know which box to put it in. That's a bit of a pain. But I'll trade that off for the cost savings that I've experienced lately. And it's even allowed me to move to flat rate shipping. And to me, look, y'all, that's why all this big stuff's been selling. It's been selling like crazy for me lately. I hope that's the case for you as well. I've never been much of a knife seller. Craigslist Hunter's drawer here. But I have got a little better at it just from my friends who know what they're doing, including Craigslist Hunter. He's been selling knives like crazy for years. And Dave, NC Picker, and Old School Picker, and all of y'all out there. Which might even relate to what I'm talking about today, because he's taking a little break as well. This one has issues, no doubt, but it's still sold for $18 plus shipping. I think I paid $1. Sold another item from this blanket bin back here. And this is a granny square, but it's a blue granny square. I don't think I've ever sold one like that. And I would put it right here with this one, but blue on blue might be a little rough. That one sold for $28.49 plus shipping. You can open the door for me? Huh? No? Oh my goodness, I see Sophie. Sophie ain't been out here in forever. Sold a golf bag, another golf bag. This one is used. It's not in perfect condition. And it still sold $57 plus shipping. Adam's golf bag. Oh my goodness. The old girl came in, huh? The old girl came in. She's wondering why. Here, I'll get you up here. Get your safe spot where you can't torture her, huh? Sold a cookbook, and this one is going to go out Grand Advantage, but if it was, whoa, holy moly, if it was going out media mail, this would be cheaper media mail. So that shows Grand Advantage on that one right there. It's kind of a cool one, actually, and that one sold for, I don't remember, $20.90 plus shipping. A lot of cookbooks are good, some of them aren't so good. I have found that the eBay image search on these is pretty darn accurate. It gives you a pretty good idea. It's the first time in a long time I didn't see one message on any purchase. And we got a bunch going out today. But I know this one is to a viewer, because that's who buys these. This man went to Paul. And Paul, I recognize your name. You've bought from us before here. Fig Family Trinkets and Treasures. So we appreciate it. And I hope the man right there gets it moving for you. This little guy's not too happy that he's not up there on that seat. So unhappy that he wants out. See ya. So you'll stay, huh? Nice to see you in here. We ain't seen you in a while. Alright, the next item back here is something that, man, I gotta be honest with you. Sometimes I buy them and it's like a sympathy buy of sorts. You know, I see somebody I really like. And I just have to get something from them, and I got to find something worth money. I had to dig down there, but I found them. These are some MCM Sirocco little wall mount things, and not something I would definitely want to pick up, but they were just a few bucks. They're a little slow on the old sell-through rate. We put a good price on them, so for $23.36 plus shipping, and I'm super glad I bought them because that lady was awesome and was just talking up a storm with me, and there was not much around, and I saw these and I looked in them and it said Sirocco. I'm like, yeah, these will probably sell. Next one is something I probably could have got more money for, but made a decision I wanted it to sell this year and not have a chance to hang around for next year. This sweater has comps around $20 to $25, and it's in pretty good condition. A couple minor issues, and I'm like, you know what, we're gonna put it out there at 20. It's a 2X though, and that's what could have brought it more value, because the 2X size is going to do better than, say, a medium. And I just decided 20 bucks is going to make it sell fast, and boy did it. I think it sold in a day. $20 plus shipping for that Ralph Lauren sweater. Sold another Creative Memories. This seems to sell this time of year. These aren't big money. We already made our money on these with some of the specialty ones, but that one's just plain Jane, sold for $10.95 plus shipping. Probably last thing I'll mention. What are you doing? Don't chew on that. No. About this is, you know, Chris Old School Picker over there talked about kind of this stuff and being able to, you know, do life the way you want to do it and reselling the way you want to do it. And I don't remember what I'm coming. Oh, I know what it is. It's an NWO. So wish you the best, Chris. I know you're stepping back for just a little bit to pursue a few things, and good for you. I'm only taking a week off though. And you won't even know on this channel because we've had so many sales. We've got so much content. Hey, you are a terrible puppy. What is wrong with you? Stop. You'll probably go digging under there. This one sold, this one sold for $9, so we took an offer on that one, I think. NWO skull cap. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, you are ornery. Every morning I find my shoes outside. Every single morning. Sold another purse. This one wasn't the best sale in the world, but it kind of got to our $15 point. It is a Rossetti purse, and it was only $1. So I picked it up, and it sold for $15 plus shipping. A couple more sales, but I wanted to show you this really quick. This came from Mark. I've talked about him before. Lost and Found 2000 here. Lost and Found 2000. He sent me a bunch of sealed VHS, which I always love. And I don't think I have any of those. So thank you. At any rate, he said quite a bit here. I'm not going to read it all. You can stop it and read it if you want. But he did go full time. There's two things I want to read here. And he said, you always say this is not for everyone. Yes, tell everyone it's very scary. But when my friends are telling me that I look alive when talking about picking and flipping, I say I am. So, and that is absolutely the case. You're over here scratching. You're making for bad audio, little thing. I'll forgive you, though. Scratch away. She's got a skin condition, y'all. I don't know if I've ever talked about that, but poor little thing suffers when it's in between shots and all that stuff. And I feel bad for you. But at any rate, the other thing, of course, I'm going to mention here, because he's talking about the taxes, is I have a good accountant, but here's my shout out to my reseller, Genie. I looked at their site, and it's totally amazing, 100%. Of course. And we actually have a video that is either out or coming out on the Garage Sale Nation channel. I didn't think it'd be a video that a lot of people would necessarily watch all the way through on the Flipper channel, but for the people that want to learn about it and the, you know, the whole process of it, my reseller Genie, and those two are just awesome people. So I made a video with them and I put it on the other channel, and I would love for folks who are interested in checking them out to go over there. Of course, code Commonwealth get you, what do they say, get you 15% off your first month if you want to give it a shot. And let me tell you, they'll go backwards, y'all. If you haven't done what you're supposed to all year, you can get it fixed now before it's too late for tax season. Sold some Sears bibs, vintage made in Korea bibs, and these are probably $30 bibs, but they had a couple issues on them. See this right here, and then a little fading, and so we put them out there for $20. I think they sold for $21. See that right there? So I'll take it, plus shipping. And I sold an emergency ladder, which is something I've sold a few times. Usually I'll pass them up, especially if I have one, I'll pass it up. But now I don't have one because it just sold. And here it is right here. It's for a 2-story house. There's a couple different brands. Kitty is the one that doesn't, I don't know, what's the brand on this one? Is it a Kitty brand? Anyway, there's different models. You gotta be careful with them, and you gotta have good condition. But that one sold. I think I got this at the first garage sale of this season. And we finally got it listed. And it did sell for a ton, $25 plus shipping. So it's not something I would pick up unless you're getting it dirt cheap. I'm going to set it over here, Sophie, because I'm running out of space. Is that good? You won't chew on it. You'll just sniff it. All right, y'all, so I get a week off, which is kind of exciting to me. You won't notice it because by the time you're hearing this, I'll be back. So thank y'all for all your support, and, you know, take care of yourself out there. Do what's right for you. Do it the way you want to do it. Don't listen to listen to people, right? I'm not saying don't listen to people. But what I'm saying is when you're hearing things that you know don't fit you and don't fit your lifestyle and don't fit other people's expectations, shouldn't have to be a burden on you. So, at any rate, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you as always, and I can't wait to see you next time.